Dingoos, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Very exciting episode in store for you today. We're going to be going in depth on Kleros dispute resolution protocol. I mean, dispute resolution has a huge amount of potential. Hopefully, this Kleros is kind of the only one that I really know of other than Aragon Jurisdiction Token and their platform over there. But keep in mind, Aragon main focus is not jurisdiction and dispute resolution. Although, I mean, that could work out as well. I know they kind of had issues with it, but that's beside the point. Today we're going to focus on Kleros and their dispute resolution protocol, future potential, what they have done in the past, as well as explaining how the incentives work, the financial incentives. And at the end, I do have a summary as well as a price prediction for Kleros this year. So make sure you stay tuned and let's get down and dirty with Kleros. Sitting at 10 cents, 45 million or $54 million market cap, 500 million circulating, 750 million total, 50% more inflation to come. So we'll see what happens with that. And I mean, positive price action. They just came out with an incentive program recently, so I think that might be a reason for the price action that we are seeing currently. And now let's move into about Kleros. Kleros is an open source online dispute resolution protocol which uses blockchain and crowdsourcing to fairly adjudicate disputes. Development efforts are coordinated by Kleros and a society in France. One thing I do want to point out is this next sentence right here. All our research and code development are open source and free for anyone to use. This sentence kind of makes me think a primitive for arbitration, on-chain arbitration, right? So this will allow other protocols to integrate Kleros into their protocol to just make it run smoother, and any disputes that come up, Kleros will simply handle. I mean, right now, obviously, if you go back to Web 2.0, you can see marketplaces such as Fiverr or eBay. There's a dispute, and who resolves it? Decentralized entities such as eBay or Fiverr. And you can also see this in, like, say, social media. If Twitter took down Trump's account, right? So something like that could be, instead of Jack Dorsey just clicking a button and say, I don't want Trump on my platform anymore, you can have Kleros dispute those to resolve those disputes for you, right? So that's kind of where I'm looking at. Also, there's a lot of other utility for it. We're going to watch this little short fun video right here quickly. It's like a minute and a half. Let's watch.
Bob is a designer. Today, he's building a website for Alice. When it's done, he sends Alice the invoice. But there's just one problem. Alice isn't happy. It's not how she wanted the site to look, and now Alice won't pay, which makes Bob unhappy. So now everyone's unhappy. But it didn't have to be this way. If Bob and Alice had just used Kleros, this could all have been settled. Kleros is a blockchain dispute resolution layer that provides fast, secure, and affordable arbitration for virtually everything. At the start of the project, Alice's funds are locked into a smart contract. If Alice is happy with the job, Bob receives payment. If there's a dispute, Kleros uses crowdsourced jurors to consider the evidence and settle the dispute. Jurors analyze the evidence and consider both sides of the story. On this occasion, they side with Alice and vote her to be the winner. Their decision is automatically enforced and the arbitration fees are collected, all performed on the blockchain. Freelancing, crowdfunding, curated lists, gaming, e-commerce, insurance, oracles, escrow. The possibilities are endless.
There you go, guys. All the possibilities that Kleros could be integrated in on-chain. Insurance is a big one, even though a lot of the insurance protocols right now just use their governance tokens as resolution voters, right? But you could see Kleros being integrated with it. I think one understatement is the biggest competitor to Kleros is governance tokens. For example, like, I mean, they say insurance here, but for example, on Cover Protocol, their governing tokens just vote on the disputes, the claims for insurance. I mean, yeah, Kleros can be integrated into these protocols, but why would these protocols give power to Kleros if they can simply give power to their governance token holders, right? So that's kind of the main competitor I see, is just governance tokens on these protocols. So that gives me a little long-term worry. I mean, if you want a more fair process and less authoritarian process in the terms of voting and getting jurors and whatnot, you might want to use Kleros. But I do see that being the biggest competition with Kleros' governance token. But anyways, let's move on to how it works a little bit. You can join any of these courts. Blockchain marketing service, English language, video production, onboarding, curation, data analysis, humanity court. So there you go. A lot of other options for you. Integrations and partners. There's the integrations. Omen, which is a betting protocol. They have lost a lot of volume recently. Gas prices are too high to bet on chain. You might as well bet off chain on any type of bet you want. They're moving to XDAI here shortly, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully volume picks up for them, but we will see. I hope they have more integrations here shortly. Like I said, I mean, their big competitor, that I guess you can say, is governance tokens. We'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell, guys. One thing I read in their Medium articles, I do like this a lot. Can you really trust a decision made by a bunch of anonymous people on the internet? Satoshi Nakamoto taught us that a number of anonymous computers who do not trust each other can still reach consensus, provided incentives are correctly structured. Kleros extends this principle to human decision making. A number of anonymous jurors who do not trust each other can reach consensus on the right decision, provided incentives are correctly structured. And let me explain this incentive structure quickly. So basically, you stake PNK, which is Kleros' token, right? You stake it in a contract, and you can become a juror on a panel, right? In a court case. So people come with disputes. You look at the disputes, and then as a juror, you pick choice A or choice B. And basically, if you choose choice A, and say 51% of the jurors choose choice A, and then 49 choose choice B, you get financially rewarded if you pick the majority side. So if you pick choice A and 51% of the jurors said yeah, choice A, then you get some rewards, whether that's the fee associated with the person entering the dispute, or whether that's I think the incentive program Kleros has just integrated says, hey, you get more rewards. And even the opposite, if you pick the wrong choice, your stake could get slashed, right? So it's kind of turns into a job. So you can buy tokens and become a juror, and juring these disputes could potentially become your full-time job maybe in the future. Who knows? Anyways, on DingooCrypto.com, we have a full review. Mr. Jack Sparrow did a full review on Kleros if you want to go check that out. Tell me more. How does it work? What are the main advantages? Developers, do they have any competitors? Roadmap, risk, price prediction. That is what he has on there. It's always good to get more than one opinion on any protocol, so that's why we do this together. So right off the bat, you can get more than one opinion on any protocol that we ever bring up. Boom shakalaka. Link is in the description. Go leave a comment and like his post. That would mean a lot for him for sure. And now let's move on to their founders and developers. So Mr. Federico, PhD blockchain and legal tech entrepreneur, teacher at Coursera, founder of Kleros, building the future of law. I do think Kleros could be implemented in a lot of different aspects, especially, for example, if say a decentralized social media wants to kind of say, hey, if we ever have disputes, we resolve it through Kleros, which is objectively a fair way to resolve disputes. So there's a lot of potential for Kleros. I do hope they do well, but I do think if protocols have to choose, they would choose their governance tokens to resolve disputes, because why would you give utility to another token rather than your own? That's just my perspective. Obviously, I could be 100 yards from the answer. I could be way off, but I do think that will be a huge factor to overcome, and that's kind of why you see them not have many integrations right now, is because you might as well use their governance token. That's why I think they're having a hard time finding integrations. But anyways, they have a really talented dev team and founder, and they've been around a long time in the crypto space for sure. They are very talented. I don't want to undermine their talent whatsoever. I do think they have some niche in the market for sure. It's just when they find it and what is that niche. because personally I don't really know what that niche is. Anyway, they just started a juror incentive program. So additionally, all addresses which staked PNK before December 1st, 2020 will receive 1,000 PNK. So there's your airdrop if you've been involved in Kleros. And I think they have a 1 million token incentive program. So I think that's currently why the price of Kleros is kind of going up. Go check it out if you want to participate. Good stuff there. One dispute that they have resolved in the recent past that I know of that was a big deal was Omen.eth. Who won the president election, right? So there was a bet on Omen who will win the election, and by the time was up, nobody really knew who won the election. So they went to Omen, they went to Kleros, and they resolved that dispute. So there is niche, and there is definitely market demand for Kleros and dispute resolution for sure. But only time will tell on how much volume that will be. I think Web3 is going to be the future 100%. So I do think volume will pick up. It's only a matter of time. Now let's go into my summary. Quantitatively, low inflation was unable to find the exact number of disputes resolved. I've heard here and there that disputes have been resolved, but I don't know how much volume. And like I was a juror on Aragon jurisdiction, and there was no volume over there. Absolutely no volume. I never was a juror on any case. So I don't know how much demand there is for this, and I ought to buy some Kleros and actually utilize their protocol to actually see how much volume they have. If you have used Kleros and have been a juror on the case, how many cases were you the juror on? I'm curious. I mean, I don't know the volume over there. Comment if you have been. I would appreciate it. Utility allowed to be a juror, staking and governance, integration into protocols, cash flows distributed to jurors. I think cash flows are a huge thing in Web3, and it will create a Web3 GDP type of deal, especially if it's on the Ethereum ecosystem. I mean, Ethereum will have its own GDP basically, and I think Kleros will be a part of that, hopefully, if they see success. So they also have great devs and has been working on it for a while Primitive for on-chain dispute resolution. So if any protocol ever is looking to integrate Kleros and their dispute resolution mechanisms and consensus mechanism, I guess you can say, there you go, integrated, and that's how you get integrations, and that's kind of what that whole page was, and that's how you become a financial primitive. I do think if any protocol needs a dispute resolution protocol, they will choose Kleros because it's a leader in that aspect, and I don't know of any other protocol that's even close to it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Here's my price prediction over the next year. 200 million market cap, 550 million circulating equals about 40 cents. So there's that's price per token. We'll see what happens. 40 cents is significantly higher than current price, but we're only sitting at a $50 million market cap for Kleros, and if they do see some traction, we'll see the price of it go up, especially if higher level disputes get resolved on a platform, like higher dollar value, right? That's what I'm looking for. That is all for today, Dingoes. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. If you want to chit chat, we got a Telegram, exciting things happening on Telegram, so make sure you go join, and Discord. Make sure you go join both. Huge news coming out here next week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And lastly, follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with the latest. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace out, Dingoes, and dingle dingle.